Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. Okay, so Halloween dresses. Now this is for quite a young girl. I have the length of the dress that I need, and I've added on a sixth or a third, depending on which it's folded. It's 2 bits. Okay, yes, Halloween. So 2 bits of fabric. I didn't have one that was wide enough to do it all in one go, so I'm going to sew these 2 together, and that's good because it'll look better. And I have the height that I need the dress to be, and this is a shearing style dress, and I have the width, which is plus a third of the fabric. So all I'm doing is I'm sewing down one side, and then I'm going to fold it over and sew down the other side. This is so I've got a nice finish. Now, even though it's only for Halloween, it's quite a young child, so I don't want any scraggly bits, because I don't want her choking on them. And yeah, sometimes you can get a thread and you can unravel it. So all I've done is folded that over, and now I'm going to sew the seam in. Now this is called a French seam, also called a knicker seam, so yeah, and it's simple enough. Also what I'm going to do is I'm going to hem it all, and I know, because I'm such a nice auntie, I'm going to hem all the lace as well. So rather than having sort of triangular bits that can hang down, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it in one strip, and I'm going to sew the strip on halfway so that it's folded over, so I've got it double. And what I'm going to do is I'm only folding this over once. Yeah, just be brave, okay? If you don't tell your machine that sewing lace is difficult, then your machine won't know, okay? And that's all it is. It's, you know, you think it might be difficult, so your machine thinks it might be difficult. Okay, so that's my sewing to do, which is quite a long list. And I've got 2 strips of this lace, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over, not halfway, but sort of 3/4 of the way across. Now this lace is slightly stretchy, not overly so, but yeah, enough to give it a bit of bounce, really. Okay, well I'll be back when I've got something more to tell you. So, welcome back. Now, I've French seamed the side of the dress. I have hemmed all the lace. I have hemmed the top of the dress, and I have, yeah, hemmed the bottom of the lace. Now what I'm doing is I'm sewing the lace on. Now I'm using the last line of stitches to guide me. I am sewing 3/4 along the width of the lace, and I am gathering slightly the lace as well. So I know I've got to be careful that I don't tuck the previous layers of lace in. I know, but other than that, all I've got to do is just hit the go pedal, push a bit of extra lace in, and stop when I get back to the beginning. So it's quite good. It's quite easy, really. You know, I can definitely see the previous layer of lace, and I can see this layer of lace, and I can see the bottom, because the nice thing about lace is it's see-through. Yeah, so that's that, really. I know. We are doing this really properly. You know, we could get away with just doing it with less thought. Now the nice thing about having our lace hemmed as well is it gives it a bit of weight. So what I've ended up with is 4 layers of fluffy lace. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to do the shirring at the top now. Now, I love it. I think it's great. I've never attempted it for years, and now I can't get enough of it, so it's great. I've got a bobbin, just a standard bobbin, and I'm going to hand reel the elastic. I've only ever seen this in white and black, so I'm sure it does come in other colours. I really am. Just my local supplier only sells it in black and white, and that's his choice. But we're doing it on the inside, so that's fine. So we pick it up same as we would a normal thread, and pretty much it's, as long as you don't think about it, it's fine. So we need the dress the right way round. I'm not going to start the shirring right at the top of the dress. I'm going to have like a little fluffy roof bit, a ruche, and then all I do is I sew. I know, I haven't adjusted the stitch size or anything else like that. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm going to keep an eye on it, that's a given, but I don't have to worry too much. Now it's starting and stopping that's the problem with this type of elastic. Once it's going, you can go all day, until you run out of thread, obviously. But yeah, that's fine. It's no problem. So I'm coming up to the beginning now. Now, I'm going to turn the dress and then go down, because I just think it looks neater. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the next line. Now the next line, unless you want to take in a lot of fabric, if you need to take in a lot of fabric, then you sew whilst it's ruffled. But if you don't, then all I'm doing is I'm holding it stretched out, so I know, and then I keep going down, probably to about there. So I've got loads and loads of sewing to do again, but there's nothing that's complicated here. All you need is an old style machine. In fact, if it's an old machine, it's even better because it's got that natural wear. And this is little more than a pillowcase, really. It really is little more than a pillowcase. So I'm back at the beginning again. I'm going to leave my needle down. That was unintentional that it stopped on the down. Never normally does that. And I'm going to go down. Now, eventually I will run out of bobbin, but it will be quite a while. It's just amazing because you can't fill them too full. You've just got to fill them like this. I know. I suppose I can pause the camera again. Sometimes your bobbin thread gets caught up in your foot, so we've just got to adjust that. In fact, I think I've stopped sewing. Okay, that means that my bobbin is empty, and there we go. We can see the inside there, and that's where we started off, and we literally just finished there. So now it is best to hand wind the bobbin, just so that you haven't got it pre-stretched. If you put it through the machine, then it will stretch it once, twice. So I don't, but it can be done. I've done it before, and yeah. And then I literally just wind it. Really, I trim off this end that I'm using to hold it, but yeah, not too full. That's the key. Not too full at all. And I'm trying not to put any tension on this, but you can't help a little bit. I suppose the reason we hand wind it is so that we can get it consistent. So that's all I'm going to put on. I'm going to trim it off so I've got enough to thread it in the machine, and I'm also going to trim off the beginning. This just makes life a lot easier. It can get a bit tangled up. And then load it into there. And the same as normal. So yes. And I suppose the nice thing about this is that it's going to be one of a kind, and I don't know, I suppose if I was scared of shearing, then everyone was scared of shearing. Okay, important part, start where I finished. So I might need to take my sewing arm off again. I'll see how it goes. There we are. So in about half an hour, maybe another bobbin change, I'll have finished. Now, because of, yeah, I suppose satin is one of the cheapest fabrics to buy. It really is quite cheap, so, you know, we haven't spent much on this dress. And, yeah, I think it looks lovely. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and at the moment I do daily vids. For the month of October, I will be doing, for the first half anyway, lots of Halloween makes. It's just because it's like a really good excuse for me to do them, and so I am going to make the most of it and enjoy it, really.